Hello everyone, I'm Serafina Lombardo. My major is communications, and the music video that I chose for my Global Citizens Activity 3 for my communications class was on Hinds Hall. The music video was created by Macklemore. It was released in 2024, and it features some Palestinian artists, Anis, MC Abdul, and Amir Zar. The title of the song was created in honor of Hein Rahab, a 6-year-old Palestinian girl who was killed by Israeli forces in the Gaza Strip. The title reflects solidarity to the pro-Palestinian protests going on across the world, and it was released in 2024. Target 16.1 of Global Goal 16 talks about reducing violence everywhere. The video calls people to promote peace, to create calm environments. The people of Palestine deserve justice. The people creating this chaos must be held accountable. The first vocabulary word I chose was proxemics, and it comes from chapter 5, specifically page 134. Proxemics is the study of the use of space. This field of study looks at how people use personal space. It says that we all sort of carry a bubble of space around us. I'm sure that we've all said that before. You're in my space bubble. How big we like that bubble is kind of based on culture and who's around us, as well as, how you're feeling in the moment. The book tells us about 4 different zones created by an anthropologist, Edward T. Hall, ranging from the intimate zone, the personal zone, social zone, and public zone. You see examples of all different zones within the video. It's something to see when strangers are all huddled together like family or close friends. Their shared suffering draws them closer to each other. The video shows many graphic images of how these people have been living in such close proximity to death. They've lost those they used to be close to, orphaned children huddled together. They have no choice but to allow strangers into their bubbles in order to survive. And there's clips of that from 1:35 and 1:40 in the video. Children hold younger children and comfort each other after so much destruction. There's examples of that at 2 minutes and 25 seconds. And there are many clips of volatile environments, but there are also glimpses of kids proximally close laughing together. Closeness they would be able to have with many others without fear if we could help them achieve peaceful and more inclusive spaces. The second vocab word I chose was empathizing, page 158. It was in chapter 6 of our book. Empathizing is conveying to a speaker that you understand and share his or her feelings, showing someone that you get how they feel and that you care. In the book, it uses an example of someone talking to a friend who just lost a pet. You must first put yourself in their shoes to allow your mind to comprehend how you might feel going through the loss of a pet. After that, identify how that feels and feel it in yourself. I believe that the leaders of these so-called strong institutions get away with a lot of fake empathizing. There's an example of that in the music video at 3 minutes and 50 seconds, and you'll see who they are talking about. But they continue to do these things in a way to keep them at the top and everyone else struggling at the bottom. In the music video, there are flashes of politicians at 3 minutes and 30 seconds across the screen who are being called out for turning the other way at the suffering happening in Palestine. If these people were to really feel how these Palestinians feel, then they would be jumping to provide aid and assist. Empathizing is not sympathizing. Feeling sorry for those who suffer injustice does nothing to help them or to get them out of that situation. Global Goal 16, specifically Target 16.6, calls institutions to be accountable and transparent. This video shows how transparent they are. The clips of protests show thousands of people holding these institutions accountable for about 3 minutes and 10 seconds. The last vocab word that I want to touch on is from chapter 6. It's pseudo-listening, page 161, which is pretending to listen. Using feedback behaviors like nodding your head and like offering body language and signaling to trick the speaker into thinking that you're paying attention to what they're saying, all while your mind is elsewhere. In the music video, there are many clips of protesters urging that weapons stop be given to Israeli forces. 2 minutes and 47 seconds. There's an example of that. I'm sure that when the cleanups begin, there was hope that the damage would be complete. But the people of Palestine were pseudo-listened to. They were not heard. If leaders continue to practice the pseudo-listening and pretend to listen without acting on their concerns, Global Goal 16 will never be able to come to fruition. Strong institutions require real participation, trust, and accountability. When communities, and this is all communities, feel ignored, trust in leadership weakens, making it harder to promote justice, fairness, peaceful decision-making. People can see through pseudo-listening. They're acting based on what they want to see done in their communities for people outside their communities as well. We will stand with those who are on the receiving end of injustice and work together to create the peace that we want to see around the world. To close out, I just wanted to talk about the 3 vocabulary words that I chose and why they stood out to me. I picked them in a sort of opposing viewpoint way to shed light on the contrasts or the opposite side. I feel like one of the reasons that we haven't reached the goals of Global Goal 16 is because of people shying away from getting in the space of bad leaders. Their proximity is lacking. The leaders of these weak institutions don't practice empathy or empathize with those in the classes below them. Strong institutions are not necessarily strong institutions because they have money and power, but they're institutions that seek to make everyone strong. In the video, there are many clips of protests and politicians saying that they are with Palestine, but they aren't even listening to what they're saying. I want to practice all of these communicative processes better. I want to get closer to others and empathize with people so that I can do more for those, not only in my proximity, but globally. Once we all try a little harder to be there for one another and see the nonverbal signs, the world will become more peaceful, more just, and we can bring reformation to these institutions.